She is Jessica, and the only thing we know about her for now is that she has a black eye, is bleeding from her wound on her forehead, and keeps looking around as if someone is chasing her. After hiding in a nearby house and making sure there's no one there, he uses the bathroom and freshens up. After leaving the bathroom, she grabs clean clothes, and on the counter, we see a photo of her with a man, revealing it's her house and her wedding ring unused on the table. While Jessica looks at the ring, the door sounds, so she escapes through the window and starts walking to the city. It's several kilometers on foot, but she has no choice. Whoever is chasing her has her scared. On the way, she comes across a gas station and sees a truck with tarps in the back. So she takes the opportunity to hide in the truck, covering herself with the material and getting a ride for the night. While Jessica travels as a stowaway through the city, we move to Elsa's apartment, a woman who appears very self-assured. He just woke up and really enjoys having his own apartment. We can see that because he dances around the place until someone knocks on the door. He is a man named Raymond who has brought a bottle of wine and wants her to give him a few minutes of her time. Raymond tells her that the suspect is near the border, but they need her signature to proceed. They can't allow her to cross it and get out of their reach. Elsa asks him to be a little more specific, and Raymond hands her a file so she can see for herself what's happening. As she reads the documents, Elsa's face turns pale and her hand trembles. It's clearly serious. Back with Jessica, the owner stopped to urinate, so she gets out and runs into the forest, where she spends hours walking to the border until she gets tired and lies down to sleep. During a stop at night, she has horrible nightmares about being locked in a room, and strange noises make her skin crawl. Back with Elsa, she has reached the station where Jessica was last seen. Vincent, your tech expert, sends you the video of Jessica getting into the van and orders the plates investigated. While Elsa notes the license plate to stay alert, her hand trembles again, but she tries to hide it. It's clear she wants to conceal what's happening. Meanwhile, Jessica has broken into someone else's house to steal food, but she is caught by a man named Lerner, who has a shotgun and doesn't like thieves. Jessica returns to the food and apologizes, behavior Lerner didn't expect from a thief, so he lowers his weapon and follows God's will. He invites Jessica to his house and puts a hot meal in front of her. His family can only watch in shock as Jessica eats like a wild animal. Gianni, Lerner's wife, asks if she's in trouble, but she only says she wants to reach the border. She goes home and nothing bad happens. After eating, the young woman gets up and uses the bathroom, where she steals some pills from the cabinet and then thanks both of them for their kindness, but she has to leave. Lerner offers to take her, but since he doesn't know the area, Jessica just tells him to keep going straight over and over, until Lerner gets fed up and asks what the heck is going on. Jessica gets out of the truck and thanks him again, but it's best if she continues on her own. She doesn't want to put them at risk. Lerner, who is an old wolf and suspected at least a little of what was going on, points to a backpack in the trunk. Jessica takes it and the old man tells her it has everything she might need. He doesn't know what she's involved in, but he wishes her luck. The young woman takes the suitcase and continues on her way. That night she camps under the stars and remembers some of the good times she had with Ian, her husband, like the night they camped and found a dog. Back with Elsa, she has tripped while coming out of the bathroom. It's clear that her condition is worsening. Minutes later, she calls her sister to ask some things. Her sister confirms the same happened to her shortly before being confined to a chair. The disease progresses quickly after the fainting spells and there's no turning back. Elsa calls Vincent to tell him she believes Jessica has already left the country. But Vincent tells her they won't stop the search until it's confirmed, so Elsa must continue. Meanwhile, Jessica arrives at a bar where she meets Molly, the owner, who struggles to get everything done on time. Taking this chance, Jessica asks for a job. It doesn't have to be much. She just needs money and wants to earn it honestly. Molly thinks for 1 minute and agrees. That night, while Jessica was getting ready for her shift at the bar, she rolled up her pants and realized that her entire body was covered with a strange rash, but she decided to ignore it and carry on. After work, Molly and Jessica chat for a moment and she asks her to be honest and tell her who she's running from. Jessica tells her that it's her boyfriend and they both have a few drinks in honor of all the crappy relationships they've had. Back with Elsa, she has received a call from Raymond, who is furious about the lack of results. And then she is sent to the house of Gianni, an elderly woman who has reported an incident. Elsa grabs her things and speeds off to the house. Upon arrival, he dons a protective suit and enters cautiously, narrating to his recorder. While checking the kitchen, he sees blood in the sink. Just at that moment, she sees Gianni outside, walking strangely and with blood on her robe. Elsa leaves the house and follows her to the shed. Upon arrival, she realizes the terrible situation Gianni is in. She has turned into a kind of horrifying zombie that lunges at her at a very slow speed. Elsa steps back, but Lerner appears behind her and grabs her by the neck. The two have turned into horrible monsters, and Elsa almost died trying to contain them. Luckily, he had her weapon nearby. Just after killing them both, he calls Raymond to curse him repeatedly, who told him it was an escaped Ebola patient, something that could end the world if not controlled, besides almost dying from it. Raymond reveals a dog with the Trinity virus escaped from a government facility. The couple who took it are the patient Zeros, and Elsa has 5 hours to solve this or Raymond will send in the cavalry. Elsa asks for details, and Raymond says they found the couple in an isolated area when Jessica stabbed a guard and escaped. Unlike Ian, she did not show symptoms, while he did change and became one of those monsters she just saw. Raymond believes that Jessica is the only chance they have to find a cure. Although the virus is not airborne, it is very dangerous, which is why time is running out for them. Back with Jessica, she got up early and made breakfast for Molly to thank her. But Molly is still asleep, so Jessica goes out to buy some things while she wakes up. As soon as she leaves, we see Molly is infected and turning into one of those horrible creatures. Vincent finally captures Jessica with facial recognition and sends her location to Elsa, who goes straight there and chases her down the street. Unfortunately, her body starts to feel the symptoms of her illness again, and she can't run after the young woman, who is more agile and fast. Elsa draws her weapon and threatens to shoot, but Jessica doesn't stop and runs straight to Molly's house, who still hasn't left her room. Through the door, Jessica thanks her for her help, but she has to leave. Then she hears a noise and decides to enter. The first thing he sees is a huge blood stain on the bed, then Molly's body completely destroyed, as if it were rotten. In shock, she decides to get out of there immediately, but while gathering her things, she hears a noise upstairs and goes back to see what's happening. As soon as she opens the door, Molly lunges at her and tries to bite her. Jessica runs downstairs, but when Molly catches up to her, she has no choice but to defend herself and crushes her skull with a frying pan. After killing Molly, Jessica begins to cry and tries to wipe her friend's blood off her face. But what happens is very different. Her hands fill with hair, and a few seconds later, Jessica realizes it's hers. She is losing hair at an accelerated rate and soon will have nothing on her head. Elsa arrives at Molly's house and can see Molly's body through the window. Although Raymond told her to wait, Elsa puts on her suit and plans to enter the house. However, she hears a noise from the barn and checks it first. Thus she sees Jessica standing, looking at the mountain. Elsa orders her to surrender and put her hands on her head, but Jessica turns and shows her the horrible truth. She has lost all her hair and her face is breaking out in welts. She will soon succumb to the virus, and for no reason does she plan to become a lab rat for those who did this to her and her husband. Elsa uses the usual lies, telling her they can help her, but Jessica is beyond all that. The only thing she wanted was to spend quality time with her husband in the forest, where she has always had her best moments. Now he is dead. He died in the most horrible way imaginable, and now she's next, so it's best to shoot her or else she'll tear his face off with her teeth. As soon as Jessica takes a step forward, Elsa pulls the trigger and wounds her in the abdomen. Scared, Jessica runs away, but Elsa shoots her leg again, telling her to surrender. They need her blood for tests, and if she dies, it will be useless. However, Jessica won't give them anything and keeps moving away, forcing Elsa to end her life with another shot. Jessica dies in a field near the mountains. Meanwhile, Elsa takes her hand as a gesture of sympathy. After this, we see a sequence of how Raymond ordered everything related to the Trinity virus to be destroyed. No one must ever know what happened. A few days later, Elsa is reading her retirement letter when she receives a man at her house. His name is Sol, and he is coming to make some renovations, as due to his illness, he will need some new things in his house. Things that will make life easier for him when the time comes for him to be confined to a wheelchair. A few seconds after shaking Sol's hand, he starts coughing uncontrollably, eventually coughing up blood. And Elsa watches him closely, fear on her face as she recalls where she knows him from. Saul is the man from the van where Jessica escaped hidden in the truck. Now he has shaken hands with someone who is clearly infected, and let's not think about how many more will be. This is how the story ends. Remember to wash your hands before clicking the subscribe.